So Batman is the new Avenger. I buy that.
Yeah.
I buy that. That's our Halloween Avengers ensemble, including Batman. Hey,
I could see him leaving the league for the Avengers.
Yeah, totally. He's like, you know what?
Yeah.
You guys trashed New York. They saved it. I'm out.
Him and Captain America, like in the training room, that'd be awesome.
I'd ship that.
That would be.
Hi all.
Totally.
Welcome back to Actual Play. I think it's been a month and change because our schedules are nuts, but we're back here with the Wobbegong crew. I'm Sean, host, and Judd, why don't you say a thing or two as our GM?
I'm the GM. We're about to pick up after the Coleridge Demon job, which is a job in which Maud grew a conscience and decided that a mess that she made had to be cleaned up. And she asked the gang to come along with her, and they did. And that went really well.
I believe I abstained.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's the smart one.
Yeah. Jay, what did Charming do in this whole mix?
Oh, Charming, just sure, yeah. I helped my friend, yeah. Oh, fuck. Honestly, every day he wakes up and he's not dead, he's surprised. So why not?
Yeah. Well,
I fucking fought demon like, and I didn't die, so that's it. I can't be killed. That's it. He stressed out, so now he's reckless.
Yeah, fitting.
He can't be killed.
Yeah, well, he did
Makes
have
sense to me.
demon grab him and like whip him senseless, and it should have broken every bone in his body.
Wow.
It didn't. So, yeah, I think he just took him and like shook him like a rag doll. It was just like all the bones break now, but they didn't because we had some crazy demon armor.
I blame drugs.
And they were good. They were really good ones.
Yeah, and Maud tried to talk the demon down using the Saint of Witches as her patron. Now that she's the High Priestess, and that didn't work at all. She channeled some of the patron Saint of Witches, and it went through her, and now she is witch tainted. Can't really act because she's overwhelmed by this. Thank you, level 3 harm. And Pete, what's the crow been up to while we were?
I've been following up my leads. I'm looking into what makes ghosts attached to a place, anchored to a spot.
Yeah,
or connect to a location, and so I was kind of just doing that as my. I knew a guy who knew a guy, so I thought I'd check that out. And when I came back, there was nobody home. I was like, "What happened?"
Yep. No, that sounds right. Cool. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us, and we're gonna find out what happens next.
Yes, we are.
Cool.
We had a couple of emails about kind of like a Breakfast Club, who do you think you are kind of situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
Did we really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm trying to find them actually. It was a while.
Right.
Yeah, I just can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I just responded to the thread that had them in it, so that they should be.
Yes, after the job. So, Judd, are we going to pick up there? I like it.
Sounds good. Yeah, let's just play through like what we talked about in the emails. I mean, we're almost doing a play-by-post in them, but let's just go through that. See if that works.
Sounds good.
Want us to read our emails?
No, not at all. Hold on. Everything's really loud in my headphones. I just want to turn it down a little bit. Good. Jay, if you're chewing, could you just mute your mic? Because you're...
It's the crackling.
It's the crackling. It's the
crackling.
Whoppers wrappers.
Yeah.
The Halloween lingers.
I'm keeping my children safe by eating their candy.
Nice.
Good for you. Way to take one for the team.
I'm a dad.
I'm proud of you. Proud of you.
Cool. So, Maud, the last thing you remember is the job going very poorly.
Yeah.
And the tunnel collapsing. The coal mine tunnel collapsing on you. And,
oh, right. Yeah. Because they were talking about blowing it. And
yeah. And when you come to, you're strapped to a chair in a sterile room. And a door in the wall. Well, the wall just seems, a part of the wall just seems to open. Like you can't even really see the seam on where the door is. And it opens and then shuts, and then it's just, again, just a kind of a sterile white room wall. It's not even really clear where the lights are coming from, like what's illuminating it.
Mm-hmm.
But the person who walks in is a spirit warden, and they've got an electroplasmic tech version of your Whispers mask, of not your mask, but just of a Whispers mask.
Sure, they've got a spirit mask.
Yeah, but their spirit mask is like a cross between some kind of battle mask from a medieval knight's helmet and a gas mask. It's just an odd electroplasmic thing, and the warden sits. The warden just stands in front of you and says, "Your service record in the war is impressive, and that's why we're talking to you like a colleague and not burning you as a witch in the Bellwether Square. We want you to tell us why we shouldn't burn you as a warning to every other Whisperer who might attempt to do something like what you've done in our beautiful city."
I think when the camera shifts back down to Maud, has she been cleaned up, or is she? You said she was strapped to a chair, right?
Her
wrists are restrained.
Yep. She is cleaned up.
Okay. So there are I imagine she didn't take any. She took horrible harm in the level 3 harm in the last fight, but she didn't take physical harm. It was sort of psychic or spectral.
Yeah.
But with a cave collapsing down on her, I imagine she just has like all these cuts and scrapes that have been bandaged up. I think the same like makeup artist that does Supernatural has like done Maud, where they're all over the place. It looks like in the time that and there's these crazy like black veins running underneath her eye, like splintering out into her cheek, as though somebody had I forget what it's called when your arteries, when your capillaries burst.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of it being red, it's just like this black pigment has gone through her cheek, and I don't think that can be like addressed through simple means. So it's still visible. And she looks up, and how long has she been conscious? Did they walk in the moment she woke up? Or?
Yeah, the moment you woke up, the spirit warden walked in.
All right. So she's still composing herself. And says, "You're right. I served." This is Sean trying to do Maud's terrible accent, but here we go.
Don't listen to my brother. Just go ahead and do it.
It's true. I served in the Unity War against my own people, and we protected the Akarosi soldiers from the horrors of the Skovlin ghosts. I've made a great many mistakes in my life. Turning on my own people was probably one of them. I failed them, and I failed my tradition, and I failed my family's traditions. And then I've unleashed this horror into the world. You've got no reason not to burn me. It was my doing that let this beast out. if given the chance, and if he's still out there, because Maud doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I may know how to send him back, or I may be able to find a way to send him back. But if you feel in your justice that my life is forfeit, I cannot fault you. I cannot fault you for that. And she's looking like she can't see his eyes because he's or their eyes because they're behind a spirit mask. She's looking like a hard glare into them. Like, just do it. Like, go for it. You want to, if this chair is electric and you want to fry me now, flip the switch.
Right. And I think the spirit warden turns very suddenly and walks out of the room without saying a word to you. And
she's dead.
And she's
gonna yell after him if he did, or them. She's like, "Wait, don't go! This was my doing and mine alone."
Yeah,
she says as they
awesome.
as the spirit warden leaves.
Yep, and then we cut to Charming, also strapped to a chair, probably chained to a chair.
Makes sense.
And same kind of sterile white room. A seamless door opens and a spirit warden walks in just as you're coming to consciousness.
Fuck me.
Thaddeus Thimbleford, your service record in the Emperor's Marines is quite impressive, and that is why we are talking to you like a colleague and not like a convict, despite your more recent endeavors on the streets and alleys of Duskfall. We want you to tell us why we shouldn't kill you and store your ghost in a jar deep in our vaults to interrogate at our leisure.
Right, and I'll be happy to explain that. Here's the thing. I ordered a pint about maybe half an hour ago and it hasn't arrived yet. If you can make that happen, be happy to talk. Right? A bit of bitters, if you don't mind. I'm parched. Really? All right, fine. Mate, look. You wish for me, through my oratory skill, to give you a reason whereas I shouldn't be killed. Why do you fucking care? Look, if you pulled me out of where you pulled me out of, you know what I did, right? My ability to speak to you ain't gonna mean shite, will it? I made a mistake. I let something loose on the sea. It's my fault. I tried to fix it. I couldn't. I brought my friends into it. It was a mistake. I am the goat king, right? And I made myself a bit of a mistake, and I couldn't fix it. And that's that. Now,
do you want to make a roll to try to convince them of this, Jay, or is it just like search? Like, do you know? Like, is it just like you can if you want?
I could do anything. I could fight a demon. I could do anything. This is going to be a sway roll.
Yes, with a very light effect.
Very. What's the effect level here? Is it standard, limited? No, it's very light.
Very, very limited.
Am I risky, controlled, desperate?
Risky for now.
And what is it you're trying to convince them that this was your fault?
Yeah, this is my idea.
All right. I would say Maud wants to give you a helping die, but that's not at all what she said. So
right.
No, cannot help you with that.
Effect I'm going to put down as limited.
Seems
yeah. Oh fuck yes. Holy shit.
Well, that's bad.
And there's a 6 there too. Like
there's a 6 and it does you no good.
I rolled like 5 dice to hit the demon and got 1s, and now I do this and I have a 6. But it doesn't help me. Right.
Thanks, Harper. You're darn. Roll 2, take the lowest roll. Take the lowest roll.
Okay. Would you care to tell us how you summoned it, or would you want to abandon this charade and move on to the truth and not waste our time?
So she's alive then. Good. That's a good thing. Look, mate. I attacked a fucking demon with a bit of metal in my head. You want to ask me why you should keep me alive? Because I attacked a fucking demon with a bit of metal. And I lived. That's why. You need help? Well, I'm not dead, and I owe you one. So long as Maud's okay, Bob's your uncle. You've got my blade. That's why you shouldn't kill me.
The Spirit Warden turns in a very similar thing, in a very similar parallel to what happened with Maud, and walks out of the room.
Rude.
Meanwhile, not knowing that any of this has happened somewhere is Scannon. Sitting in the headquarters in the lower parts of a newly recently kind of renovated and some pumped dry what was once a beautiful hotel.
With a door.
With a door, with security. And speaking of which, there's a knock at the door.
Yes.
They can't just walk in. Victory condition.
We've got that, boys. We might die today, but we've got that.
We got a door.
Oh, yes, we do. All right, I'm going to go over and see who's at the door. And I walk up to the door and I go, "Who is it?"
My name is Professor Bakaros.
Okay, I'm going to slide the lock and open the door and go, "Yes, Professor, how can I help you?"
You must be Mr. Scannon, the Crow, yes?
I must not be anything, but in this case, you happen to be correct.
Very good. Very, very, very good. I need to come in and speak to you about an illegal altar that's on the premises here.
Oh, I'm afraid you've come to the wrong place, Professor. It was jolly good talking to you. Don't let the Wobbegongs get you on the way out. And I shut the door.
He knocks again.
Professor, you seem very persistent.
I do not want to let my colleagues make the next move. I prefer to talk it out.
I open the door and look at him and go, "And what colleagues, pray tell, are we speaking of?"
Pete, do you have any idea like what Scannon would know or would think about the Spirit Wardens?
Well, I think from one standpoint, I think he feels like they obviously have a job to do.
Right.
And they're fairly effective at it, as we are not swamped in ghosts.
Right.
But I guess I kind of tend to think of them sort of as an entity outside of our immediate realm because of just the stuff we do. Like the stuff that Maud and I did, that would be treading in their turf rather than them treading on ours. Right. You know? So I think that I kind of tend to think of them as outside our purview.
Cool. Interesting. He says, "I'm Wardens."
This has to do with
Coleridge.
Ah, good. All right, then. Well, then do come in and have a spot of tea.
Yeah, he comes in. Thank you.
And I pour him a cup.
Thank you very much, sir. I told them they weren't going to have to dynamite the door, and I was right.
That would have been very, very bad taste if they did so.
My masked friends sometimes have bad taste.
Well, wandering around with a wall between you and the rest of the world, I guess that's not surprising.
We'd like to come in and take the altar out. we think you might not have a problem with that.
Me, no, but one of my associates might.
Would that be Maud or Thaddeus?
That would be Maud in this case. So you've spoken with her.
We have. She said it was fine.
Are you sure about that?
We are sure.
All right, then. I would emphasize caution in this action.
I agree.
I need a great deal of caution in this action.
I agree.
You do understand what you're getting into here.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Where is it?
Follow me. Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. It's so tempting, though.
You were a scary motherfucker.
I'm going to bring him over to where the altar has been set up in a proper kind of space. What I would have chosen to be the dining room, but nobody bothered to even ask me about this. Okay, so
I think at this point, if this was a TV show, we'd have Scannon in the first episode saying, "Just don't use it in the house."
That's all I'm asking.
That's all I'm asking.
So, question: we recently sacrificed a person on this altar.
Yeah.
Are they still there? Like, what's the?
Oh no! We clean up the scraps. We always go back to neutral.
So I figured. Drop them
because if there's anything that we've learned as a gang, it's don't leave the evidence out.
And get a door.
Yes, and a door that locks.
The Charming's way too fastidious to leave stuff like that around.
Yeah.
No, because from the whole thing when we had just kind of an area and steps. And we had all that stuff out in the open. I think we've learned the lesson that we don't leave that stuff out in the open.
Awesome.
Especially when we have a high-ranking hive member, in custody at that time.
Right.
So,
cool. He says, "Would you mind going and unlocking the door?"
To the front?
Yes, please.
How many of your friends are coming?
18.
Oh my. And you're only taking the altar.
That's all we plan on taking. That is all that is of interest to us here.
Good. All right. Then I shall go unlock the door. Here is the altar.
And you open the door, and it's like all those movies where there's like a SWAT team like up against the door waiting to get in. And they swarm in, and that's when we'll cut back to Maud.
Nice.
I have to tell you that I was this close to sacrificing that guy on the altar. This close.
Nice.
I was this close to saying, "Here's the altar, sick." And the matron was going to welcome you with open arms.
The crap you've pulled on jobs is, as I was saying, like, you're absolutely scary. It's like, I'm alive, I'm dead. Like, it's just, you're a scary dude.
Well, I should have sacrificed him. I don't know what I was thinking.
No, you're thinking that there's 18 dudes with explosives at the door. That if it didn't open soon, we're gonna come in.
Sorry, but worth it. I think that I could have asked her for a favor. I feel like I could have been.
It's
been in a place to say please.
And I just want to point out. I just want to point out how much Charming loves that door. And how sad.
I know, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't. The other thing is that if he takes that out, I can make that the dining room.
No one's ever eating there. You realize little Maud is never going to eat in that room.
I know.
After what happened in there.
That's fine. I'll eat in there.
There's no way that room doesn't ever not stink of death.
Yeah.
Awesome. So cuts.
The spirit warden walks back in. And I think they just stand there in front of you, Maud.
I think by this time, Maud is a bit more composed. She's not quite as off out of sorts, and she sort of sits up and says, as much as she can, like she tries to hold herself with good posture, and like tries to knock some like loose strand of hair out of her face, but she doesn't have her hands free to do it. And she looks and says, "Have you decided?"
We believe you would be more use to us alive. We believe that there are cults to this witch monster who you've welcomed into you and your home, into your flesh and your home. And we want to know who those people are. And you're going to tell us. Essentially, you're our informant now. We don't care about the Wobbegong crew and their petty smuggling.
Ouch.
You're gonna regret that, mate.
Now he's just being rude. I'm sorry.
We want the cult members who worship that witch.
So Judd, this is just a question to you real quick from what Maud would know. That altar was lost out in the Lost District forever.
Right.
Maud thought she's the first one to have found this altar in like many, many generations.
Oh, yeah.
So to her mind, the idea that there'd be anybody else worshiping it, and in fact, she erected an altar of it in Flint's like church of many altars where he didn't have one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in her mind, like she's the only one. She's the only cultist or the only person associated with the Saint of Witches.
Right.
But obviously we saw Atreus with all the lampblacks.
Right.
So that's how Carl only leads. So she looks at him and she doesn't want to throw this away, but she's like, who is it exactly that you have in mind? The Saint of Witches, she's been forgotten for many generations.
Gods come and go in Duskfall. We
True.
believe she is on an ascent. We've caught glimmers of her in other places.
Do you want me to find these people?
No. We want you to go about your scoundrel business, wherever that may lead you. Probably Iron Hook Prison, but wherever it leads you. And we believe that the witches' people will come to you. You are not a spirit warden. You are not deputized. You are just bait.
Also rude, I just wanted to say.
If you can accept that existence, and you can convince us that you can accept that existence, then you can be spared Bellwether Square for now.
And my companion. Actually, yeah, as far as she knows, Willoughby got out, so.
Yeah.
What will you do with my companion Charming?
His fate is still in his hands.
Oh, no.
So this is the last episode we're going to have Charming then.
Charming is not one to back down. I've seen him face odds that were worse than, well, I've seen him face a demon and not flinch. If you think you're going to break him, you're wrong.
We're not going to break him, and we believe that he may be of use in other operations that we have currently underway.
They're so optimistic.
So if I agree, not that I think I have much of a choice, but if I agree, and you believe me, the spirit wardens will stay out of our affairs? until I report in what my findings?
Yes.
If we encounter ghosts or other such creatures which may normally be under your purview, you'll leave that to us to attend to?
We're sure that law-abiding citizens such as yourself, if they were to see a ghost, would report it to the proper authorities so it could be disposed of. Like, maybe it's the mask, maybe it's the lack of facial expressions, like, but there's no body language to let you know that that's sarcasm. Like, it just seems perfectly...
Yep.
You do have a choice. I want you to think that choice over. And the spirit warden turns and walks out of the room. And at that point, the door opens in Charming's room, and someone walks in. And another spirit, the same spirit warden, walks in. Mr. Thimbleford, you do have a point. You could be useful to the spirit wardens.
You're rude.
There is a criminal organization attempting to gain entry into our halls. We believe if we were to put a certain bit of information on the street, they would contact you.
Who leaves a room without saying goodbye?
If you were to agree to aid us in infiltrating this organization, we would be allowed to let you leave this room.
Rudeness aside, your job aside, mate, nothing happens without me knowing whether or not Maud's okay. You could kill me, maybe.
Maud is considering her options.
Where is she?
Somewhere safe.
I want you to understand something. You could kill me, right? And scupper me, ghost, as ever you think you can. But I won't stop, mate. If you've hurt any of my friends, I won't stop. I will kill every last one of you. Right? I'll stay true to my word. And that's true. I've never gone against it. But I promise you this. If Maud gets hurt, or any of my friends get hurt...
None of your friends are hurt as of now. They're all making excellent choices.
All right. I wasn't listening because I was still overcome by your rudeness when you left earlier. So, what exactly is it you need done?
There is a criminal organization called the Unseen. They are attempting to infiltrate the Spirit Wardens. We would like to use you to infiltrate them.
Who are they?
That is what you will tell us.
Why do they want to infiltrate you? And how do you know that they are?
We found out that one of our initiates was a spy of theirs.
Where is he from? Or she, sorry.
I'm afraid I cannot give you that information.
And how the fuck am I going to do my job, mate?
Because they are going to contact you.
Why? Why me?
Because we believe there was recently a murder near a warehouse owned by the Hive. The Hive are enemies with the Unseen. We believe that it is plausible on the street that we can say that you committed these murders. Even if you didn't. You know, in parentheses is the fact that he did commit these murders. Like, it's totally
minor detail.
Minor detail.
There was a fight. It wasn't a murder, but go on.
Yes, I know. It was murder. So we believe we put out word out in the street that you committed these murders, the Hive would declare you an enemy, and the Unseen would contact you.
it just throw out there like things that like the Hive and the Unseen are two crews that everybody in Dustfall has heard of. The Hive is like the mob, like they're very obvious. Everybody sees them. They collect protection money. Everyone's up to them. They're totally like a very visible gang. The Unseen are, just as their name implies, the people who lurk in the shadows. Everyone, they're like the boogeymen. Like maybe they exist, maybe they don't. You know, they're the kind of like, how big are they really? Do they secretly control all of Duskfall? Who knows? It's all
Kaiser Soze.
Yeah, exactly. They're the.
Too soon. But
yeah,
we will leave you to consider your options.
Wait. I can't consider my options unless I know exactly what the deal is, mate. And what you give me is rather ambiguous, and I apologize for the three-syllable word, but listen, if you wish me to be a counter agent for these people, I need a bit more information about what it is. What kind of advantage do they gain by infiltrating your organization? You're the Hive. I mean, you're spirit wards. You fight the boogeymen. Why would they need you as a fulcrum?
We believe that members of the Unseen are very accomplished whispers,
right,
with intense arcane resources, and they wish to gain our resources too.
That makes sense. Right. Come on, I'm in. We're done then, right? I'm off.
We will be escorting you out in just a moment.
Just one last thing. You're rude. You know that, right? You're a rude man.
Ambiguous has 4 syllables. And he turns, and like that's the only thing. It's like the only thing that the Spirit Warden has said that like lets you know that like they're human and you've kind of gotten under their skin a little bit.
Goodbye. That's great. That's awesome.
Cool. Scannon, you open the door and 2 Spirit Wardens come in on either side and they start doing like SWAT team clearing protocols on like weaving and going in and out on their way to like making a safe hallway.
I'm going to walk very calmly back towards where I left the professor.
Once they have it all cleared, they say, somebody yells, "Winter!" And 2 Spirit Wardens, again, like big heavy metal helmets that come out into like, into a ridge and big electroplasmic gas masks, spirit masks. 2 people with tanks on their back and like what looks like giant Victorian fire extinguishers come in, walk up to the altar and spray it with this gas, and you see it's like freezing the altar. And then they get all of the small demon idols that are the matron's children.
Oh,
there's 3 knives.
All right.
Notably, Maud had Atreus' symbol and his knife on her, but I'm sure they've confiscated that from her.
Yep. A team comes out.
I wouldn't know what happened to the other 2 knives.
Another team comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Comes out and like sets up like a scanning unit, and they're setting dials, and one of them looks at you and says, "The bodies that were killed on this altar, where were they disposed of?"
In the canals.
And a crate is opened. The altar is put into the crate. The crate is closed. Sigils are drawn on the crate.
Top men.
Yes, and it's all whisked away very professionally.
Before the entire SWAT group leaves, I'm going to hand one of them a mop.
Nice. I can imagine them wanting to clear any blood stains left from this thing.
Right.
Away.
But, you know, they've got all this, whatever it was, liquid nitrogen all over our dining room, and I'm not going to stand for that. I'm sorry. I'm not okay with that.
Yeah.
The SWAT guy like just walks by you, and Professor Backros steps up and
so I hand him the mop.
He looks down at it like it's a quaint thing, because it's a quaint thing, and he leans it up against a lantern stand, and he says, "If you'd like, I can send some maids over to do the cleaning."
Why don't you take care of that then?
Mr. Scannon, you are every bit the professional that we heard you were. Thank you very much. And from what I've heard, Mr. Thimbleford and Lady Maud should be here very soon.
Very good. And I trust they're in relatively good health?
They had been through a lot in Coleridge, but while they were staying with us, they were treated very well. Very
good. Professor, I have a quick question for you. It's a bit of a hypothetical.
Of course.
As you work with the spirit wardens, you know a thing or two about ghosts, I presume.
I'd like to think I do.
What is it that causes them to connect to a specific place? For example, we were recently working in cooperation with another organization, and we came across a partially sunk ship, and upon that ship, there were still ghosts of the people who died during the sinking. What caused them to stay?
It could be very well be that they were contained by the water. Ghosts don't travel over the ocean well. Very often what... You know what? I'm not going to... I'm actually giving a lecture at the College for Immortal Studies at the Duskball Academy in a few days. If you'd like, I can put your name on the guest list, and you can attend if you wish.
I would like that. And the last name is Rose, not Scannon.
Very well, Mr. Rose.
Thank you.
A pleasure to meet you.
The pleasure was mine, I assure you.
Oh my God.
And I see him out.
He turns and walks out.
I was just dying there because I was like, I don't want to interrupt, but oh my God, he has to say you should come to one of my classes.
Yeah, totally.
Professor of this stuff, like this is what he teaches.
Yeah. It's like, well, why should I just give it to you here when I'm about to lecture?
There you go.
Whole crew on this. Awesome. Maud, did we come to a conclusion of any kind with your situation?
No, he left before I made a call.
He comes back. The spirit warden comes back. What was your decision? Your friend Charming has made a decision that will allow him to live. And your friend Mr. Rose has made decisions.
Maud squints like who?
Has made decisions that will allow him to live also.
That's good to hear. I'll take your deal, but I don't think it's sound.
Why is that?
You're going to let me out of here. And everyone knows I've been captured by now. Why would you let a witch known to be the patron of a demon of a demon god out of your clutches? Why wouldn't you burn me? I'll be marked on the street by everyone as a snitch. If you want me to leave, it's got to be by my own volition. Otherwise, everyone's gonna know, and your plans will all turn to ruin. What I'm saying is I have to punch you in the face. And I have to steal your keys and I have to break myself out of this place. And it's probably going to hurt because although I'm not much of a fighter, I've learned a thing or two from Charming. Otherwise, the charade's up.
I love you.
I accept your deal.
So much.
And Maud is not, I mean, you know, he was, Maud can't read their body expression, but Maud is being stone-faced. Like, she's not smiling when she says, I have to punch you and break out of here. I must appear to be the enemy of the spirit wardens.
We will consider this. And the spirit warden turns and walks out. And I think about a half hour later, a door that neither you nor Charming saw that's in between your two rooms, like that door opens. Mm-hmm. So you can like see each other and talk to one another. And the straps on your chair come loose.
Rude. Just rude. Not even a goodbye, nothing. Oh, you do, boy.
I think I'm gonna, you know, assuming this is part of this agreement. Are my things nearby, or is I imagine I was like in a hospital gown style.
Yeah,
or a straitjacket. You never know.
Yeah. Well, we were.
No, I know.
No, it's just Charming. Your things haven't been introduced yet.
Mine haven't, so I'm still
right.
All right, so hospital gown in tow, or whatever they have me draped in.
Yeah,
I'm gonna creep over to the. Can we see each other? Is it like
yeah? The door opens. Yeah.
Cool.
So wait, we're gonna. I don't get it. Why won't they just open the door?
Maud comes like it's very like she smiles when she sees Charming, and she steps through and she says, "I told them no one would believe we didn't work for. No one would believe that we weren't their patsies if they just let us walk out the front door. And the only way anyone would think we weren't owned by the spirit wardens is if we broke out ourselves. And I told them that we might have to inflict some physical violence upon their persons on our way out to prove that it's true. And they seemed to think upon that as much as they thought upon anything else I said."
Before we go, I need to ask you a question. Is your conscience assuaged now? Can we move forward with business?
No and yes. What I did, it's still wrong. But we're in no position to do a damn thing about it. We got to move on. I appreciate you standing by my side. And I'm glad that you're still here.
What we went through on that beach is something that made us family almost. And I'll be with you, but I'll need to know, if we're going to build something for our men with the crew, that's going to be the priority now.
I can't. She waves, like she kind of like gestures at the place that they're in, where they're in, and she says, "I can't tell you that this isn't going to come back to us. That we're not going to have to deal with it, but we'll deal with it as a crew, and we'll look out for our own best interests." And
my question is your little Jimmy Critter? I can't really say that. Is your conscience going to be your guide in the next situation where this comes up, or will what's best for us motivates you more?
Won't tell you the answer that you want to hear, Charming.
No, don't do that, mate. Don't tell me what I want to hear. I want an answer. I need to know where we are, mate.
Truth is, Charming, I don't know. When we get there, I'll do my best to let you know where I stand. I'll make sure I never get in your way.
I don't want you in my way, mate. I want you at my side. But
and I want to be at your side as well. But my point is, I did a very bad thing. And if I can do something to fix it, I'm going to. And if it's going to put our crew in peril to do it, then I'm going to be in a bind. And I can't say right now with 100% surety which way I'll turn.
Well, that's honest. Now, time for a bit of fun. And I go running to the door and kick it off its hinges.
I think like you go running to the door and you go to kick it and it just kind of swings open.
Fuck you! I grab the door and I pull it. Start grabbing it. I get my feet against the frame and I just
we're just doing collateral damage for the sake of collateral damage.
I'm so mad. He's so rude. I'd be fine if it wasn't so rude. We just said goodbye before he left the room.
I think we should just keep carrying the door through the wardens until you're outside with it.
As you walk out of these rooms, you realize that they're just these kind of reinforced linoleum hard rooms, white stone rooms, in a pretty normal townhouse. And you can smell gunpowder in the air. And there's the body of a spirit warden slumped over, shot dead in the hallway.
What the fuck? That's fucked up. They killed one of their own to cover all escape.
Does the spirit warden have a mask?
Somebody's helping you.
Do they have one of these like electroplasmic masks on them? I mean, that's how you know they're a spirit warden, right? Is their spirit warden mask?
Right. They do, yeah. But there's been a bullet that like went through the mask.
Nice.
Ooh.
It's pretty badly damaged.
Yeah. Yeah, she kind of like touches the mask, curious, fascinated by it, but this is part of the proof. Like this is the evidence that we killed a spirit warden and not just some schmuck. So much as she's like interested, she's not going to take this mask because that would pull everything apart.
Right.
So she's like, I really tried to give us a satisfaction, at least the teeniest bit of satisfaction in this, and it seems that they want to deprive us of even that.
They're rude. Yeah. I'll expect nothing less.
And then, in the main parlor are more spirit warden bodies. And in every one of the deaths, the masks are like battered into, like the masks specifically are battered into states of unuse, to the point where they're not usable. And on the table in the parlor is all of your gear. Except for the demon killing sword that you got from the goat matron. Like all the goat matron stuff is gone.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice. And is there the gun that fired these bullets? I mean, you said we smelled gun smoke still. Is there a
I think
that's empty?
Also on the table are a couple of pistols, yeah.
Nice. Maud takes one. And like, as she's like throwing her gear, Maud's always been somewhat disheveled. She's never quite gotten a foot of like the nicer things. So she's like clumping all her gear on. But when she has some sort of loose thing, she grabs one of those pistols and sheaths it. Leaving the other one for Charming if he's so inclined.
I don't usually see him with one. I'm just looking around like, oh, they made it look like I did it. I'm guessing that the gross majority of the people who are dead have been smashed like Hulk.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Look,
gross majority. Good way to put that.
Nice.
They're not dumb. I mean, I'm not worried. I mean, what could they really do to me? But I'll be careful if I were you, Mold. They're pretty smart.
Got that right. We're in bed with some pretty strange devils here.
Speaking of bed, let's go home.
Let's take our break.
Cool.
Yes, you're here.
All right. Good times. I think we're in downtime, right? That was like pre-downtime.
Yeah. That was what they call free play.
Free play, awesome.
Free
so we'll come back and de-stress and heal and all that stuff because
we really needed to have that moment though. That was definitely necessary.
Yeah, that was great.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Cool.
All right. We'll be back.
I'm glad we played that.
Yeah.
Cool.